Okay, now for section 7, Kohlberg's moral development. Um, there are three stages in Kohlberg's theory to moral development: pre-conventional, conventional, and post-conventional. Pre-conventional is where right and wrong is determined by what is punished. Um, Conventional is where right and wrong is determined by close others' approval or disapproval. And post-conventional is right and wrong is determined by society's rules and which are viewed as fallible rather than absolute. Or right and wrong is determined by abstract ethical principles that emphasize equity and justice. Well, basically, they go both ways. So pre-conventional is can be determined by what is rewarded or what is punished. Um, Conventional could be disapproval or what is right in society's structure of rules. And post-conventional could be determined by society's rules or by uh, ethical principles that emphasize equity and justice. Um, Two examples when of where these apply to me. Well, on one instance, I had broken one of my parents' favorite lamps, and I didn't want to tell them that I did it, so I just kind of hid, hoping they wouldn't find me. This is Kohlberg's. This is Kohlberg's pre-conventional stage, where right and wrong is determined by what is punished. I was afraid that they were going to punish me, and so I just hid. Another instance where Kohlberg's principles applied to me is when I was taking a really hard test and I thought about cheating. And here's a picture of kids cheating. I didn't have a picture of me cheating because I don't cheat. Well, like I said, I didn't cheat because I knew it was wrong. And so I suppose I was in the post-conventional stage where my mindset was leaning towards where right and wrong was determined by society's rules and what was fallible rather than absolute. Okay, section 8 time. Now this section refers to Marcia's four identity statuses. The four statuses are diffusion, which is a state of rudderless apathy or absence of struggle for identity, with no obvious concern about it. Some people simply refuse to confront the challenge of charting a life course and committing to an ideology. This lack of direction can become problematic, and a person might exhibit more social and psychological problems than others. Then there is identity foreclosure, which is a premature commitment to visions, values, and roles, typically those prescribed by one's parents. So, like, if it works for your parents, it's going to work for you. And then there's moratorium, which involves delaying commitment for a while to experiment with alternatives and other things. When a person is actively struggling for a sense of identity, It is involved with like self-doubt and confusion as to who you are as a person. It can be valuable to growth, but some people might remain in this state for too long, and where it should be temporary. And the last one is achievement. This one involves arriving at a sense of self-direction after some consideration and some alternative possibilities. The commitments have the strength of some conviction. It is associated with high self-esteem, great security, and a variety of other very healthy traits. The results of my OMEIS survey say that I am under the identity achievement stage. Um, I I agree on this because I feel like I have high self-esteem and I'm a very secure person. I uh I I pretty much know like where I stand on things, and I have I feel like I'm confident in very many of my viewpoints. Um a picture or video clip that might uh describe like who I am is coming up right now. Now on to section 9, which is parenting style. There are three main types of parenting style: authoritative, authoritarian, and permissive. Authoritative is where the parent sets down ground rules and discusses it with their kid and is open to suggestion, where the parent it's where the parent is open to suggestion from the kid and they make decisions together. Now authoritarian is where the parent doesn't really listen to the child at all and makes their own decisions and just kind of ignores the child's input. And permissive is where the parent will allow the child to do whatever they want, kind of. It's where the parent is really lenient towards what the child does. I feel I have been brought up in the authoritative style because while my parents tell me to do a lot of things, I um I ask them if I can do something else, and they're usually okay with a consensus and bargaining. When I'm a parent, I think I'm going to be an authoritative parent because I feel that that is the best style, leaning towards a healthy parent and child relationship. On to section 10, which is a glance back. Um, First, I'll start off with three technological innovations that have occurred in my lifetime. First is the iPhone, obviously a very recent technological change. And then, of course, there are headphones. They've been improving, and I can't imagine early in my life they had headphones as good as these. Maybe like big over the ear ones or something like that. And lastly, the transition from VCR to DVD. Um, my favorite childhood TV shows had to have been Scooby-Doo and SpongeBob. both cartoons. My favorite childhood movies were probably Lord of the Rings and Grease. Always used to watch them all the time. I don't know, I guess my parents just always had them on. Uh, my role models throughout my life have probably been my parents and my older brother. I just kind of always wanted to do what they've done and wanted to follow in their footsteps. Um, Maybe it's because I can't really imagine it any other way because I haven't really partially experienced it any other way. And over time, my music interest has changed quite a bit. I used to listen to a lot of rock, and and then it changed to rap kind of, and then rock again. And now I'll pretty much listen to anything that's not annoying, I guess. Yeah, and that will conclude my DVD presentation.